Well, hello and welcome to the show. We're gonna have a good time this week. We're talking about ponying. Everybody says, you know, my horse needs a job. You know what? You can give him a job right there at home. That's all coming up right here on Discovering the Horseman Within.
Gonna take a ride on one true horse.
Teaching is probably one of the most joyful things I do in my life. I love to watch people learn. I love to see them change, and I love to see them make life changes, follow their dreams. That's what our apprenticeship program is all about. It's a 3-level program. We start at the apprentice level, we move to journeyman, and we finish at the master certification level. That program is about people achieving their dreams. These people just like you. That's what they're about. They're here learning so they can go home and create a career in horsemanship. As I started thinking about ponying, there's a couple of things that are critically important to me. First of all is safety, right? I see people get hurt because they're not paying attention to what's going on, or they don't know how to handle the rope, or they have the wrong rope. So we're going to talk about a few of those things. First of all, I use a 12-foot lead rope. I can get rid of all but the end of it if I have to without losing my horse, or I can throw it all away, right? Sometimes your horse steps across the ditch and that one doesn't. You get kind of far apart. You don't want to lose your horse, but at the same time, you don't want to get jerked out of the saddle. So a little bit longer lead rope makes that easier, but it's dangerous because it's more rope. So don't let it get wrapped around your hand. I hold it just like that so that if I need to, I can drop everything and it's gone. Don't let it get half hitched. Another thing that's critically important, if this horse that you're ponying gets around behind you and he gets the rope under your horse's tail, number 1, drop the lead rope. 2, take your horse's nose and turn it towards the actual lead rope. That'll help pull the lead rope out and put your horse in a situation where he's not going to bolt and run off because he's facing another horse. What you don't want to do is put your reins down and reach back like this. That puts you way out of balance and you're going to get hurt. It's not maybe, it's going to happen. Your horse is going to bolt, your horse is no longer being controlled by you. Something is going to go wrong. Don't do it. Write it down in your book of things you're never going to do. If he gets that rope under your horse's tail, hopefully you've done all your groundwork and sacked him out, and that's not going to be a big deal. But even if it happens, just drop slack into that lead rope and tip your horse's nose and move his hind end away from the horse and move your horse's nose towards, right? That is going to go a long ways towards fixing the potential problem. Another thing that happened to us just while we were standing here getting ready to film, the bay horse starts chewing on Dunny. He starts kind of biting at him and nipping at him and just being kind of difficult. Nothing real mean, just kind of difficult. So what I want to do is to start with, before we do anything else, I want to establish authority for Dunny over the bay. Now how do you do that? Same way you do it on the ground. You move their feet. When Dunny starts consistently moving the bay horse's feet, the bay horse is going to naturally subject himself to Dunny's authority. We say giving a horse a job is an important thing for the horse, and it does help them become more solid and get better broken. This is a job you can do right at home. But the job is only good if we do it right. It's not good if everything goes bad. So as I start this, I want to clearly keep my rope, the tail of it in the rein hand, and then the longer, or the part hooking to his nose right here in my right hand. Move his hind end around. Now, side pass over, and push the shoulders. And you'll see me use my hand. Get your hand up here and get it into the bay horse's eye. Move my horse's hindquarters around. Side passing back the other way. Now we're working all on the bay horse's right side. So now we'll move our horse around and work on the bay horse's left side. And again, using my hand to enforce Dunny. I want this horse to move his front end around his hindquarters. So I'm just going to keep working on that. Keep positioning Dunny, positioning my hand until right there, right there, right there, right there. Now slow the front end down. Keep moving it over. There. Now ride back over here. Now as I ride up here, where do I want my horse? Ideally, I want his nose between my back cinch and my knee, okay? So I'm gonna bring him up right there. Where I don't want him is way up front. I don't want him leading me, and I don't want to be dragging him. Now, I told you, unless you know how, don't dally. This gets people in trouble. Don't take your rope, I've seen this done with disastrous results, tie a loop in it and drop it over the saddle horn. That's going to get you hurt. Do not do it. Just understand that those are things you don't do. Okay, so keep that rope. If it's starting to get tangled there, take a moment, detangle it. Now, as I start forward, I want to ride towards the horse's nose a little bit. And I always speak to him a little bit and come on, step up. And I like to ride towards his nose to start with. We've showed him how to move away from us. This helps keep him right up here. And what I want to do is when I bring him up, give him some release. Bring him up, give him some release. Bring him up, give him some release. Now, he's just lagging on the lead rope a little bit. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to drive him. This is hard because I'm speaking to this horse and this one's going to think I'm talking to him. So I've got to teach him, I'm not talking to you right now, I'm talking to the bay. Push him over there. There we go, right there. Push him over there. Ride up with him. There we go. Now he's going to get ahead of me. That's okay. I don't like it, but I'll bring him back. Bring him back slowly, right there, until that nose is right at my knee. Now, on the outside, it's just like playing crack the whip when you were a kid. The guy on the outside's got to go a lot faster to keep up. So he starts falling behind, so I'll just spin that rope. Hopefully you've done your groundwork with both horses, but particularly this horse that you're working. If he doesn't know what the tail of that rope means, if he's never experienced that cue, here and now is not the first time to teach it to him. You want this horse to get to where he understands what you're working on. Now right there, he wants to get in front of me, so I bump him back, and let him realize Dunny's coming around. Right here, just practicing and playing and keeping it simple and safe are big parts of what we're doing. Slow that nose down, bring it back to my knee. And one of the ways we can do that is by turning. Right there, he gets behind, speed him up. If he gets behind, speed him up. Bring him on over here. You want to slow him down? Step to him. Bump that nose back. Whoop, we slowed him down more than I wanted to. There we go. Bump to him. Now, here's an important part that I like to do. I want to side pass over here. If you watch now, because of the authority we've established, he doesn't want us to get close. But we're going to ride up here, and as soon as the feet stop moving, we're going to release the pressure. Right there. And let him get comfortable being close to us. I get asked frequently, what's the job of the slobber strap? Why is it there? What does it do? Well, the slobber strap adds weight and feeling to the bit. So because it's stiff leather, as soon as you start moving that rein, that slobber strap starts vibrating on my horse's tongue. And that bit, he's moving that, he knows you're there. The weight of the slobber strap combined with the weight of the rein and the stiffness of the slobber strap carries the release so that it hangs straight down from the horse's ears. That's what the slobber strap's job is really all about. Get me a nice feeling in my horse's mouth. I love the loop rein. When I'm working on colts or when I'm working on retraining a spoiled horse, I need to encourage them to try. So a big release is important, and I need to be able to throw that quick release back to that horse and ask him to understand he did it right. So the faster I give that back, the faster he gets the understanding of what we're talking about. And then because it's a loop, obviously I'm not worried about losing it. I can pick it back up again and do what I need to with it. It's right there where it needs to be. The diameter of the rope is important because when this horse is pulling on me, I don't want to have to pull on him. I want to be able to hold that and not have my hand get sore and not feel like it's slipping through my hand. So when you combine the slobber strap and the rein together, you end up with a unit that helps soften your horse and encourages him to stay light and soft all through the training process. When I get my horse really comfortable on one side, remember what I do on one side has to be done on the other. So I'm just going to step around him, and I'd like the bay horse not to move, okay? Instantly the bay horse starts moving. He's not comfortable with me over here. This is one of the things that I really like about ponying a horse, and I'm not going down the road right now, I'm just getting ready to. But what happens there? All pressure releases. This horse gets used to having someone in close proximity and being crowded a little bit. Your horse gets used to being in that situation. If you're working with young horses, this is a fantastic chance to work above them, right? And I'll step Dunny forward just a little bit. Reach back here where I can kind of sack him out. Now this horse is broke to ride, but if you're working with a young horse, this is a fantastic chance to really be able to work through some of their anxiety, right? One of the things I like to do here, I'm going to give myself a little room, slip my lead rope back over the bay horse's head, and then I like to ride off and ride my bay horse right here. Right here. Make him think his way through this. Side pass your riding horse. Soften that nose. Right there. That's what I want to see. Then I'm going to side pass back over to him. Immediately, he's going to side pass away. Well, why shouldn't he? We spent 5 minutes telling him to get out of our way. Well, now we have to tell him when it's okay. Flip that lead rope back over his head. Flip it back around here behind his hip and let him work his way out of there, just like you would do on the ground. You're just controlling him horseback. You're controlling him from above, so if it's an unbroke horse you're working, right there, bring him around. Now, let's let him catch up. Move forward. Bring that pressure on. I'm going to make it a little bit easier. By moving into him, he's allowed to go slower. Now his knee is right where I wanted it. His nose is right at my knee where I wanted it. And he's walking on slack. And I'm getting more and more control on my horse. Am I making it too detailed, right? Why can't I just grab my horse and go down the road leading him? You can. But what I've noticed over the years is that's where people get hurt. If I can establish control and I can develop in my horse the responses so that I know what's going to happen before it happens, right? One of my favorite Ray Hunt sayings, and I may not say it 100% right, but I think I do, that is, if you want to stop a wreck, you have to know what happens before what happens happens, right? You got to know ahead of time what's going to happen. So when I get out here on the road and things go bad and we get tangled, I need to know that's how he's going to respond. And I need enough rope to get me out of that so that I'm not in a bad situation. I need to be able to understand that no matter what happens next, my horse is going to respond correctly. So as I ride off here, look, I've got him tangled pretty tight. He's got to find his way out of that. Perfect. And that's what I like to see. Old Bay is more concerned about groceries than he is about getting upset over where that rope went, because I've done the work it takes both previously on the ground and today in the saddle to make it work for him, right? So now all I've got to do is ride off and lead him. So when I do, keep that rope free right here. I don't care what you're doing. Now what I do lots of times, and I didn't bring more out here today to add to it just for the demonstration, but lots of times I'll pony 6 or 8 horses at once, and I'll do that by tying a bowline lead rope, a bowline knot in a 12-foot lead rope around each horse's neck. So Old Bay would lead the next horse, and the next horse would lead the next horse, all the way back 6 or 8 horses. When you get those 6 or 8 horses strung out together, you darn sure better have control or you're gonna have a big wreck. So you do it one at a time, building these principles up so that your horse, now right here, Old Bay just got crabby and he pinned his ears and he looked at Dunny kind of out of the corner of his eye right there. Same thing. I'm just gonna keep the pressure up until the ugly look goes away. There. When his ears come forward up, it's back. I released the pressure, but it came back, so I increased the pressure. Just keep moving him there till those ears come up. And I don't want this horse having a problem with that. So I've got to be making sure I'm paying attention to everything, working on this. Come on, Old Bay. And paying attention. Ride both horses. Watch closely, right? I want to know what I'm getting into all the time. I don't mind if this horse has a little freedom. I don't want him to have a lot of freedom. A lot of freedom gets me in trouble. Think about the horse you're leading. Remember that speed change once you go to the outside. When you take that turn to the outside, he's got to go twice as fast as he was going to keep up. And you'll notice he drops way back. So keep driving him. And if he gets lazy, right there, speed him up. There you go. You can see him pulling away from me. There we go. And when you see him pulling away, fix it. Let him ride here, right here. He's figuring out how to stay there with me. He's learning how to speed up and rate my speed. There we go. There, he's finding the right answer. And Dunny's getting better. Right? He's getting a lot better now that I'm not babysitting him the whole time. And he's actually listening to my seat better. Listening to my little cues in my hand. I don't want Old Bay getting ahead of us. Now right there, you saw Dunny get angry. Dunny said, Bay, you can't get in front of us. So I've got to deal with that too. Because Dunny can get us in trouble just as fast as Old Bay can. So I can't have him pinning his ears and acting foolish. So if he does, I need to fix it. Nope, don't pin your ears. There you go. Start around that corner again. And if using a stick is handier for you, go for it. I like only having the lead rope in my hand because I've already got it attached to my horse. But if having some sort of a stick makes it easier for you, no problem. Step out here. turn him around and go the other way. Bring him to me. Let him understand that no matter what my horse is doing, he's to stay with me right here. When he finds that spot, he's beginning to find the release, and that's critical. My horse needs to find that release. Wherever he's working, he's got to find a good spot so that he's comfortable and happy and likes it. That way, we can go down the trail happily together. You know, when it comes to character traits that match horsemanship and that actually make a difference in our life, the reality is there's no replacement for hard work. Hard work isn't just something that successful people say you have to have. Hard work is a biblical trait. Actually, the Bible tells us if you don't work, you don't eat. There's lots of different references to working hard. When it comes to your horse, nothing comes easy. There's some horses that are smarter than others, but all of it takes diligence on your part. Building a relationship with your horse is really not that different than building a relationship with your family. You can't expect your children to just naturally want to be around you if you don't take the time and put the effort into building that relationship. You can't expect your husband or your wife to do all the work. Relationships take work. Everything we do in life that creates success in our lives, all of it comes from hard work. Hope you've enjoyed this little ponying lesson. It's one I like to use. We use it on the ranch a lot. Remember, have fun with your horses, be careful, be safe, and until next time, may God bless the trails you ride.
Find out more about Ken McNabb horsemanship at kenmcnabb.com.
That one true horse, the perfect partner built to ride. One true horse, a bond that cannot be denied. You would search forever just to have the chance to take a ride on one.